Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Giants fans. It's your boys, Jake and Jordan. How we all doing? It's that time of the week again where you get to listen to our sexy little voices. Or watch us on YouTube, whatever you fancy. My right-hand man, Mr. Frost, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Good. I've got my new microphone set up and everything. But both of us have, haven't we?
So, yeah, man, we're both rocking the new microphones.
Official.
So we really hope that after it gets edited that this comes to the best podcast we've made to date. If you've checked us out on social media, we are stepping the game up over on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So make sure you go and head over, follow us there. First off, we're going to announce that on Friday, we've got something a little special coming up for you. This is getting recorded on Wednesday, should be out Wednesday or Thursday. On the Friday, potentially might have an uncut live show. We're still working on it. We're still talking about it. But we will also see the announcement of the giveaway winner. So this is what we're giving away. It's the Giant shirt from back in 2016, 2017. Make sure you get involved. Head over to our social media. It's ready to go for that lucky winner. And we'll get that posted out to you. How are you feeling about the game? You know, we've got Worcester Wolves after the nice 10-day break. How are we feeling about the game coming up, bro?
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. So I think, again, I still stick by what I said in the last pod. You know, I think the 10-day break is needed. I think... Oh, was needed, sorry. It's come to the end now. But, you know, I think, you know, it's give us time, you know, from what I've heard, you know, Justin's practicing again, you know, so I feel that it's come at the right time. I think with the coach coming in, I'm always, apart from, you know, we have our little sort of 10-15 minute moans at the start of podcasts after we've been beaten, but I'm always pretty upbeat, you know, when it comes to sort of the day before game day. I mean, we're hitting them at the right time. Again, I said it in the last podcast that, you know, if they hadn't have been beaten in the last game, I'd be a little bit more, you know, because they're on a good run. That doesn't go away. You know, they still probably should have beat Leicester twice, and you know, they did once. So it's going to be a tough game, and you know, you know, Kimball's coming into his own. I mean, I don't know if Boutneck's back because he was out the other day, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So really don't know. I feel like it's going to be an open game. I feel like, you know, hopefully, you know, all the signs are right, you know, from the Giants. You know, the social media has been rolling, so I'm assuming things are all good in the camp. So, yeah, I mean, let's just, you know, hope we go from there. I mean, I don't know, how are you feeling, mate?
I think, like you said, the past two Worcester games, they've had two of their key players out, depending on the game. You had Williams out 2 games ago. You had Boutneck out last game. So it's, if they come out fit and healthy, we've seen how we play against them in the past. It's going to be a tough matchup, as always. I think with new coach, obviously, we look at the 2 games that Pluto was interim head coach with us. You can see what the players wanted to buy into. And that's no discredit to Danny at all. You know, it looked like they came out, whether it was a shift in mood, whether it's a shift in change, they came out and thought, you know what, okay, you can see improvements. Now, obviously with Lloyd coming in, there's been a big step up, we believe, on the defensive end. Worcester, we always know we're going to be a shooting team. I don't think they're going to match us in the post or the paint at all. And I just hope that we stop them threes, because they're the games that kill us. They absolutely kill us from outside sometimes. But I really welcome this game. It's going to be the time, and I know we say it every week, but this is the time with the next 3 games that we've got coming up this week. Yeah, they're all compact into 5 days, but I think this is the time where we go on a run and we pull it out of the bag, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you look at, you know, you've got 3 games, you know, you're hitting Worcester after a loss, you're hitting Glasgow, where they're not having, it's probably one of the worst seasons for a long time, you know, and Plymouth coming off, you know, I mean, even though they pushed London to the wire, I mean, big shout out to both teams, what a game that was. But, you know, you're hitting Plymouth. You know, it goes two ways when a team's coming off a big loss. You know, you're either poking the lion or preying on the lion. You know what I mean? And that's the best way to do it. It's, you know, I keep saying it's almost like God's putting these games in place to, you know, make us, you know, get a win. I mean, interestingly, I think you're probably right. I mean, you know, if Jordan Williams obviously played last game, I think, but if he's back and he's fighting fit, it's going to be very interesting, the matchup on there, because obviously we've got a 7-footer. Jordan Williams, you know, we know he's got one game. You know, it's that posting up game. I'd be very, very interested because obviously I think they'll use Michael Parks quite well.
And in that last Rocks game, he showed up. Like,
yeah,
you look at it, he only got 8 points, but he showed up defensively. He showed up on the board, you know?
Yeah. And the other, I think I said this to Ginge, the final piece of the puzzle for Worcester was, I think he's called Burns, the new guy.
Yeah.
And he's sort of I think he's about 6'8", I think, 6'9", and bit of their sort of David Ulf, you know what I mean? And he's fitting right in there and grabbing the rebounds, and he can make a shot as well. So it's going to be really, really interesting, mate. I mean, providing players are back for us, you know, everything like that. It's going to be a great game, and it's almost like these games have been put here, you know, for to test us, and this is it. You know, it's your big chance. I mean, we can quite easily come out of this weekend with 3 wins, you know. So
I think that's the important thing, you know. It's going to be. We've got Worcester on the Wednesday, we've got Glasgow on the Friday, and Plymouth on the Sunday. Again, on paper, all winnable games.
Yeah.
When we look at going into those games, we've had a 10-day layoff, but that means we've also had 10 days to get our shit together. We've had 10 days to get to know plays. We've had 10 days to get all our playbooks in the head. As soon as someone calls it, bang, we know what we're doing. We're set up, ready to go. That's offensively and defensively, you know. We've got that gap that has given us time to get everything together. Everyone's on the same page. Let's go and get a win. I believe talking to some of the lads, you know, they've got the mentality of next game is a dub. Obviously, we can sit here and go, the next 3 games are dubs, but that's us as fans. They've got the mindset of Worcester's our last game. Worcester's our next and last game. We've won that. Okay, Glasgow's our last game. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think they're going to come out playing. They're going to come out playing hard. And like I said, I just want to see those 3 Ws on the BBL website.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even be happy if we come away with 2 or even just 1 win out of it. You know, I think the big one is getting a win against Worcester, because even though they've been on a bit of a run lately, they're going to be thereabouts where we want to be. So I think the big one's Worcester. Glasgow is going to be a bonus if we get a win out of that, you know. So it really, and again, Plymouth, bonus game, you know. Yeah. You see it in all sports when, you know, an underdog goes to a big team, it's a bonus game. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, are all games at home?
I know Worcester's at home.
You know, Justin Satchel, did he play against Worcester last time? He did, didn't he? It was his first game. He went off. You know, Jean Paul wasn't there at the time, so that's going to be great to see. You know, the big matchups there. We didn't lose a lot of, you know, size really in that game against them last time. So yeah, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. We've both got new signings, and we'll just go at it. You know, it's a fresh slate now, new coach, new everything.
I think that's the key with the next 3 to 6 games, because the teams that we're playing haven't seen this Manchester Giants team. They haven't seen this Manchester Giants coach. They haven't seen our players, you know. So they can't, exactly like we've talked about before, the previous 2 games and the next coming 4 or 5, they've not seen how we play. They can't do a scouting report on us, which should be massively on paper to our advantage of getting those wins.
Yeah, of course, definitely, I agree. They've not seen Adam Jeanpour under Lloyd Gardner's plays and defenses. You know, they've not seen a Justin Satchel. You know, anyone. They've not seen a Joe Hayes under Lloyd Gardner. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. You know, anything can happen in this. I know from speaking to Pluto and everything, and I'm really keen at some point, you know, to speak to Lloyd. You know, that'd be great. You know, get that bond we keep making with these players and coaches is brilliant. And just you know, like I said, I sat on the phone with Pluto for an hour the other day, hour and 8 minutes to be precise. And it was a great phone call. It was a great insight, so it's brilliant. And I know these guys are hungry. We've got hungry guys. Over half the team's local. They're hungry, so I love it, man. I love it at the moment.
I think the takeaway thing I got from when you put the phone down to Pluto, me and you spoke, and I think the takeaway I got from it was, he stepped up when he had to, due to obviously not getting the new coach in time or whatever. But he stepped up, and the main thing he said to you was, "I want to learn." He's a top player. His history of playing has been great. Getting silverware with Sheffield, that's the first that comes to mind with me with Pluto. But like I said, from a coaching aspect, he's there to learn. And hopefully now we've got the tools to move forward and go, right, okay, Pluto, you're going to learn off this guy who, again, we don't know unless we see it, has been piped up to one of the best coaches up and down the country. So how that translates to the court, obviously we'll see. I know.
Regarding that, what you said. Sorry to interrupt, Jake. You hit the nail on the head there. And the thing is, you look across every sport. Not all great players, and Pluto was a great player. Not all great players make a great coach. You see that across sport after sport after sport, and that's why Pluto is playing the long game on this. And it's perfect. It's a perfect long game. He's learning. He's young as a coach, so. He's doing it, and that's all he can do, So he can learn off these people, I'm not sure if Lloyd's younger than Pluto, but he's had more coaching experience. He's been there and done that. So, you never know. Eventually, Pluto could be the head coach in God knows how long, so we'll just see.
I mean, when we look at, obviously, we talked about the Worcester game. I don't want to go too much to Friday and Sunday's game because we will have a show on Friday as well. But I want to talk a little bit about Glasgow just because, obviously, we're playing them on Friday. On paper, we should absolutely destroy them with their record. We should. My concern is they've ran Worcester till the third quarter in Worcester and Glasgow on last week. They ran them to the third quarter. I was watching the game and I was like, Worcester have got this. Yeah, they've not got Boutneck, but they've got this. And yes, eventually they did win by, I think it was like 18, 20 points. But up until the third quarter, it was squeaky bum time, and it was tough to watch and go, like, we've got these two teams next and they're running each other to the wire.
Yeah.
We saw that they pulled away in the fourth quarter, obviously, and got the win, Worcester. But it was like, okay, so everyone's writing Glasgow off. But it looks like they can play up until that third, like looking at them. And the third is do or die for us. The third quarter is where we die off, or we score 32 points in a quarter.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground.
I think, yeah, definitely. And I think the similarities between us and Glasgow is the fact that they're in the same boat as us, that they've not got 12 BBL players. They're in there, and I don't think, they've had bits and bats of recruitment issues. Some players maybe not turned out the way they thought they was going to, things like that. So, I mean, we've all had these issues, but us and them predominantly, and we're the ones who's been affected by it the most. I mean, it scares me to think what a team would be like if, we had Jamipur when Brady and Hexham was there, or Satchel when Brady and Hexham was there. I mean, just it scares me to think, you look across the league, and you think to yourself, wow, this is absolutely, fantastic. I mean, if you want to be, if you want an absolute coup, Justin Satchel's dad was born in Bristol, man.
Yeah.
So get him that British citizenship and he qualifies as a British player.
GB incoming.
Yeah, so that's one for the fans if you didn't know. So do you know what I mean though? Like, he scares me to think how good our recruiting's been, and just for us to get, I don't know who was responsible for it, but just for us to get a player of Justin's caliber in at the last minute like that, it's crazy, man. I think that's where Glasgow struggled, where they just didn't do that, when people have left and stuff.
Just to go back onto that point, the recruiting, whether we've had problems or not with players going, leaving, mid-season or whatever, the recruiting has been top from a fan perspective, it's been top notch. So shout out Tom Fletcher. He's the guy who mainly runs all the scouting, all the stats, and he's also been massively supportive with us. So thank you very much, Tom, for that. But yeah, like from talking to him, he's working non-stop on looking at players all the time. So that's really, really good to see. Yeah, I think it's Glasgow haven't had that backing, the money, that obviously the coaching experience going down, everything. They haven't had that kind of oomph to start them up again. Do you know what I mean? They've not had that. Yeah, they've got a couple of Americans, and on paper, some of them, like I said to you during the Glasgow Worcester game, I was like, this. I think it's Brandon. Individually, he looks fantastic individually, but they're just not gelling as a team.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I think, I don't know where he stands at this, but I think I'm going off football in terms here, but player managers don't work for me. They just don't work. You can't get, I've played on teams where we've had player managers, and you can't get your rotations right. When you've come out, your head's in a different space. It's too complete. Like I always say, Yeah. And there's three roles within any sport, or any team sport. There's your player, there's your captain, and there's your manager.
Yeah.
Right. And Gareth Murray is having to be all three of them.
Yeah.
Whereas, you even can't just be a player and captain, because like I said, he's a great player, and he's coming into the GB setup. He's still getting in that squad, experience wise, fantastic, but he's not got it right, I think, this season.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where he stands on this, but I'd have had Kieran Achara in if I'm dead honest. I know he's got what is going on with Sky, but just even as an assistant coach, just to stand there, on the sideline, Gareth Murray can still be the head coach, but just to make subs, to see, because the issue is when Gareth Murray's in a game, he can see the game going, but he can't see if someone's getting a bit tired. He's not seeing it from the bird's eye view. He needs to see it at, do you know what I mean? And that's where I think they've struggled. I don't know whether he's going to step back at the end of the season. I don't know. He's still got plenty of game left in him, I think.
Yeah.
But, we're just seeing, man, they're relying heavily on players like Fraser Malcolm and, young players and things like that. And it's not saying they're not going to be amazing in the future, because, you see Fraser Malcolm's absolute gun from three. But, for me personally, I think his head's elsewhere, and that's just my personal view, genuinely. And, I'm more than happy to take other people's views on. That's what this is all about. But that's just my personal view,
Yeah, totally agree, mate. But like you said, it's going to be a good run of games. We've got plenty of BBL basketball to look forward to. 3 games in 5 days. What's that? What does that equate to in wings? 60 wings on 5 days? That's not too bad, is it?
I think, yeah. Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to do the math for the beers, because that might get a bit silly.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. But it's just, you know what? We just, we go with it and just take what we can. They're all fit guys. They're all, they can all do it. They've all done it before. And yeah, we just go from there, man. I'd just be so interested. You know what's going to be massively interesting for me? Seeing his first starting 5.
Yeah.
No, I don't always take a lot from starting 5s, because I think your 5 always tries and reflects their 5. It's not always your best 5. Do you know what I mean? But it's strange. Like I'd just be really interested to see where he finds players' roles. Is he going to find a completely different role for someone who never thought they could do that role? It happens all the time. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well.
For all we knew, when DJ was playing power forward for most of the season, he could have been an absolute Rodman at that position. Do you know what I mean? Like a slightly smaller Rodman. We didn't know. As he goes, he played all right. It's not his position, but he played all right. So I'd be really interested if he finds something with that. So yeah.
So I think that draws us nicely onto, now we did say it was going to be a bit of a shorter one, because we didn't want to give too much away for Friday upcoming. Wanted to get a show out there, keep it consistent, keep you all interested, keep you listening. Make sure you go and check out our YouTube where this will be. It's going to be on Spotify as well, but the Friday one might be a little different. So make sure you head over to our socials where you'll see all of our updates and you'll know exactly what we're doing pretty much every minute of every day because we're on there constantly. We move on to the Wingville Win of the Week. Now, as you've heard or seen on YouTube, on Spotify, every week we are presented with a sponsorship with Wingville where we put a poll out where the fans, anyone in British basketball, anyone across the world can vote on it. We put up 3 options. It was only 3 instead of 4 this week, but we thought these were the most concentrated ones. If you saw any social media after the backlash of the Cheshire game, one of our options was the DJ and NBA Twitter beef, which we attached a picture to, which was quite amusing from an outside perspective to look at. Our second option was Ash Blackmore's shoe collection, which, by the way, thank you so much for everyone that got involved in that. That was amazing to see how many people got involved with the hashtag. Personal choice, we thought he'd blown it out of the water, and he's still got videos and pictures that we've not even shown yet. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But the winner, I think we thought was going to happen anyway, but it was the signing of new head coach Lloyd Gardner. That was our Wingville Win of the Week. Thank you very much for sponsoring this segment. We can't wait to hit you up on Friday for those wings. You know you're going to get loads of orders off us. So should you. Go and check out the description. Quote WingSquad, and they'll either give you some free wings or they'll sort you out with a discount. But make sure you use WingSquad and tell them who sent you. Anything else you want to round off this podcast with?
No, I mean, I just wanted, to keep saying that, especially it's on the I think it's a sort of, it's an unknown hero, these polls that we put out for me. It's showing how many people are reading it and stuff. I mean, how did we do this week? Because I know we smashed it last week, didn't we?
Yeah, it was around 15, 20 this week.
Yeah, so we could really, because it's just a click, guys. It's just a click. Just your personal view. We don't name any names. It's just your personal view of what it is, and it's easier to click it than it is to scroll past it. You've got to do the same thing. You know what I mean? So just put your finger on the screen and just click yes, no, maybe. Anything.
So it's like the intro of Malcolm in the Middle, then.
Yeah. So yeah, but no, just keep it going. Just keep it going. I'm really happy at the moment. We're in a really good place. We're getting some massive follows. We're getting some massive, shout outs on different shows. So keep it coming, guys, because the only way is up, and you guys are coming with us. So keep getting involved, and we don't forget. We always mention the same names to each other. We keep seeing the names popping up on the polls, on comments and things like that, which, by the way, on the giveaway has been massive. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, we don't forget it, and we're taking you with you guys. We're taking you with us. So yeah, keep it coming, man.
With that said, we're creeping up to 350 followers. Creeping there. We're going to put the link right at the top of this description on Spotify, on Anchor, and on YouTube. Click that link. Give us a follow on Instagram. Go and like everything. Give me some notifications to look at. But when we get to 500, now 500 for us is our benchmark. It's what we said we were going to set out to do. We said we wanted 500 in 6 months.
Now, to put that in perspective there, there's one thing we need to do is we are a one-team only podcast. Yeah, so we don't offer content for anybody else in this league apart from on a pre-game show where we talk briefly about players. This is Giants only. Now, if you look at the Giants Facebook group, the fans Facebook group, what is there, 400 odd followers?
Something like that,
yeah. What's the average attendance at the George Carnell? I'm only doing that because I've not seen us in the basketball performance center. It's a few hundred.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's every single one of you guys following us. plus a few more, extras, which is absolutely fantastic. We knew we wasn't going to get thousands and thousands of followers because we are a one team only podcast. But on the flip side of that, as long as we've got you guys on board, we're more than happy. And believe me, other shows and other people are hearing what you guys are saying because they're hearing what we're saying, and what we're saying is what you're saying. So, keep it coming, guys. That's why we can't stress enough to keep messaging. We're not bothered. Jake's up till like 4 a.m, drinking espressos and stuff. So
he's not lying. He's not lying.
Yeah. Message us at any single time. It does not matter at all. Just give us that message, man.
We've also seen, we do get demographics of our listeners. You guys that are listening to this right now in Malta, in Australia, in Canada, in America. It doesn't matter about the time zone, like we said. Just drop us a message. Say hello. Ask us a question. Put something in, We will always see it and we will always respond. So keep it.
I'm trying to think what our link with Malta would be. I've been racking my brains. I can understand Australia, America, Canada, things like that. But I have no idea, absolutely no idea how we'd get a listen in Malta. So that's got to be a first. And if you're listening to this and you've got a basketball podcast and you've got a listener in Malta, I challenge you to show us, man.
I just can't wait to get one in like Senegal or somewhere ridiculous, like just random.
Papua New Guinea.
Hey, if we get North Korea, I think we've won podcasts. I think we've completed podcasts.
Yeah. I actually saw that was on the Peter Crouch podcast, and they had one listener in North Korea, which is highly illegal. So that's fantastic. That's our aim.
So you know what? On socials, I'll try and work it in. I'll try and get it over in North Korea. We're going to be the flagship podcast in North Korea. Don't worry about it. As always, thank you very much to the listeners, to the watchers, to whatever you're listening on, whatever you watch us on. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can go back to your sitting in your boxers or sitting in your pants, just watching TV now. You're good. Thank you very much for tuning in to us. Shout outs, Giants, goes without saying. The interaction, the talks we get with them, the access we get with the players, with the behind the scenes, the managers. Just thank you very much for supporting us. And I think that pretty much wraps up everything in our show, mate. I'm gonna set you up this time. I know I caught you off guard last episode. If you've listened to the show to the end of this part, what should they type in the comments, mate?
New microphone.
If you've listened to this part of the show, comment down below saying new microphone, because when people see it, they'll go, what the hell are they talking about? And they're going to have to listen to know what they're talking about. They'll know that
you might even enter the Wingville Win of the Week just for that. So
yeah, absolutely. So comment down below, new microphone, share us, subscribe, like everything. Just comment in a letter A. It doesn't matter to us. As long as we know that you've enjoyed it, just let us know. That wraps up our, I wouldn't say weekly show, because we have got one coming out on Friday as well. But stay tuned for that. As always, much appreciated for listening, guys. Take it easy. I think it goes without saying this one. Trust the process. Thank you very much, guys.